Ladies and gentlemen, this is Prime News on my Major Prime. You're welcome to today's edition. My name is Peldrine Blanche King, and we begin Prime News right away. 6 divisional delegates from different ministries have been abducted in the southwest region of the country. Pro-separatists have claimed connection to this act and are demanding ransom for their release. Not details with Nora Kakebi in the following report.
It is now confirmed that 5 divisional delegates have been kidnapped together with the Chief of Surveys and Lands working in Dian Division. The senior divisional officer from Dian Division in the Southwest region, Ewane Lawrence, confirmed that the abducted divisional delegates include the divisional delegate of Housing and Urban Development, divisional delegate of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, divisional delegate of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, divisional delegate of Land Tenure, divisional delegate of Water and Energy, as well as the Chief of Service of Land and Surveys. All of these delegates were abducted on Tuesday, July 15, 2021, at Masole Balue in Ekondotiti subdivision. The divisional delegates were abducted and taken into the forest in Ekondotiti subdivision. According to the authorities in Dian Division, the separatist fighters have claimed responsibility for the kidnap of the divisional delegates. The leader of this team of abductors has been disclosed as Ten Kobo, who is a lad who hails from Bekora in Ekondotiti subdivision, making life unbearable for the inhabitants of this locality. The SDO from Dian, Ewane Lawrence, said he is in communication with the abducted delegates. He added that the divisional delegates have been held captives in 2 separate camps in the forest, with each of the camps asking for exorbitant amounts of francs CFA. One of the camp is asking for 28 million CFA francs, while the other camp is demanding 32 million CFA francs. It should be noted that the abducted divisional delegates were actually on a land demarcation mission in this area, where they later got abducted by separatist fighters in Masole Balue. It has become a new normal for government officials to get killed or kidnapped by separatist fighters who regard them as intruders.
Members of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism have been visiting state institutions in the Southwest region to map out new communication campaign against hate speech and xenophobia, which they say is threatening the peace and social cohesion in the country. This campaign is expected to end tomorrow, Friday, as Clarice Ekowe reports from Boya.
A 3-day meeting on the new national communication campaign on hate speech and xenophobia in Cameroon is being organized in Boya. This activity, organized by the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, NCPBM, started this Wednesday, June 15, and is expected to end on Friday, June 18. Led by Benjamin Itoy, representative of the Commission, discussion during these meetings with various institutions in the Southwest region, such as administrative authorities, regional delegates, religious leaders and journalists, among other groups, was focused on identifying platforms of hate speech, its causes, effects, as well as making recommendations to mitigate hate speech and xenophobia that is increasingly becoming a major threat to social peace and cohesion across the 10 regions of Cameroon, especially in an era of social media.
What we are doing is, like we said in the hall, all those who are attending our meetings are co-opted as members of the coalition, because we need to build up a coalition of the civil society, of journalists, of youth, of women, and servants of all components of our society, so that they all join in that coalition to say no to hate speech and xenophobia. So we are here for that.
According to participants, some of the causes of hate speech and xenophobia in Cameroon is deeply rooted within the lines of tribalism, feeling of marginalization, injustice, perceptions, limited resources, to cite but these few.
Whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Muslim, you know that there is a sacred personality in our respective cultures. They tell you love, respect is inherent. That's so when you disturb that, every other thing goes astray.
The forest to which that by extension was a tool that the government would have used. And so just to summarize, the religious people feel frustrated when they are not listened to.
To ensure a hate speech-free and xenophobia-free Cameroon, some pertinent recommendations among which were instituting hate speech into the curriculum of schools, starting from primary school, and ensuring the proper implementation of punitive measures on perpetrators of hate speech, among others, were bolded by various groups.
Away from the southwest region of the country, we now move over to the northwest region of Cameroon. A joint military operation dubbed Operation Kumbo Clean, led by Colonel Matiang Charles of the 51st Motorized Infantry Brigade, has been confirmed successful. After about a month of activities, at least 7 persons were killed at the end of this operation, and some weapons confiscated during this operation, and forces of law and order are equally calling for pro-separationists to respect international humanitarian law and be disciplined. Details with Charles Kebwa.
After major operations within Bui Division, with the first major operation Ngok-Bui, followed by Operation Bui 1, a joint military operation of the 5th Military Region dubbed Operation Kumbo Clean, with over 300-man army, led by Colonel Matiang Charles of the 51st Motorized Infantry Brigade, carried out operation between May 15th and June 15, 2021 in Bui Division. Confirmed, at least 7 persons were killed as they end another operation in the division that resulted to the confiscation of 5 AK-47s, improvised explosive devices, gallons of contraband fuel, locally fabricated guns, and artisanal, including charms and others. The operation, as reported, also led to the death of 3 separatist generals with style named General No Pity on the run. The Operation Kumbo Clean, reassuring the population, the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Nka Valet, salute the effort of the soldiers in the operation term as successful, call on the soldiers fighting insurrection in the northwest region to respect international humanitarian law and be disciplined.
I'm not insisting on figures because the figures are very important. But unfortunately, also lost some for me during the operation, and somewhere were wounded. Overall, I'm satisfied with the conduct of operation, as I said.
General Nka Valet said, Bui Division being the center of the Amazonian struggle in the region, the military will not relent its effort engaging in operations to flush the separatist fighters and in all the 7 divisions of the Northwest.
The power that be should also cleanse Kumbo and the Bui Division.
While appreciate the forces, Bui SDO Henry Langmuir appealed the military in Bui Division be equipped with new and solid equipments and vehicles that can easily access some remote areas of Bui Division, and elements of the forces of law and order be increased. Bui Division, which used to be the largest town in the Northwest after Mezam Division in terms of economy and other factors, it should be noted, has recently been down since the escalation of the Anglophone crisis.
From the littoral region to the southwest region, let's now go back to Bamenda in the northwest region to talk about the campaign to end hate speech and xenophobia in the country and equally promotes the idea of living together in peace. Charles Keba reports. We'll get back to the story from the northwest region, talking about the campaign to end hate speech and xenophobia in the country, especially in the northwest region of the country that has been battling with the ongoing socio-political crisis for 5 years now. Meantime, the taxation family in Fako has completed a 4-day capacity building workshop involving taxation personnel and taxpayers to raise awareness on the recent tax payment procedures and to get stakeholders holders into the registration process. Kumo Norembom tells us more in the following report.
The Taxation Department in the Southwest region in recent time has been involved in a series of seminars to train personnel and taxpayers on the recent reforms introduced by the Director General of Taxation on the new taxpayers procedure. The 4-day capacity building workshop which took place in Limbe recently saw the participation of taxation personnel and small and medium-sized taxpayers to brainstorm on ways to easily access the new software introduced by the Director General of Taxation. Addressing participants during the opening ceremony, the Regional Chief of Taxation for the Southwest region, Mr. Adama Nasuru, called on participants to follow with keen interest the lessons taught to them by the various facilitators. He reassured participants on the efficiency and credibility of the new taxation procedure, as it will go a long way to assist the government fund various public expenditure. On her part, the Divisional Chief for Statistics, Modeling and Registration, Madam Tanya Agnes, reiterated on the advantages of the automation process to the taxpayers. She added that the process of tax payment has been categorized in 3 stages: the declaration process, the payment process, and the online registration process.
We are here today because our tax administration has drastically changed its method of work from the manual. Essentially, the manual procedure is implemented from filing to collection and having documents. So it's a new thing that we put in place, and we are sure that our collaborators, those are having problems in managing these manual procedures. And we are sure that our taxpayers too usually have problems in managing the manual. So that's why we have come to explain to them. So we have to explain and even go on their computers to show them how to print or to do this type of document.
It is worth mentioning that this capacity building workshop is the 3rd in a series of workshops organized by the Regional Taxation Center in the Southwest region to create awareness on the new tax payment procedure.
A gang of specialized office breakers have been presented to the public by the forces of law and order. The gang is suspected to have a hand in the recurrent state and non-state burglary attacks carried out recently. In the report that follows, Dolly Gonde talks about their activities and how it was or how the forces of law and order successfully traced this gang and apprehended them. Let's have her report.
Following the recurrent burglary attacks on both state and non-state institutions in Cameroon, a gang of specialized men of the underworld has been presented by the forces of law and order as perpetrators to the crime. From the Supreme Court audit to the Directorate General of Taxation and the Cameroon Employers Association, plus the Network for Solidarity, Empowerment and Transformation for All, NUSETA, these spaces are the recent hubs for this new crime wave. With a demonstration on how the suspected bandits carried out their mission unrealized at the Directorate General of Taxation in Yaoundé, the investigation team sought to know more about the suspects. I entered inside and began climbing the stairs up to the last floor. Then I began breaking the doors. I searched for documents. It all went futile. Then I descended elsewhere to break in further. Thinking the break-in had been successfully carried out, the suspect, nicknamed Chinois, further reached out to his accomplices by telephone who were on standby outside, not knowing he was being recorded. However, thanks to the timely intervention of the combined forces of law and order, these operators were apprehended in no distant time. The entire operation was filmed by the internal cameras installed at diverse points of this building. It definitely tells that the boys are courageous. It also tells that it is a gang of experienced bandits. In Douala, this same group is noted to have burgled even at the level of a microfinance institute where they dashed away with 50 million francs CFA. With the major offices shackled and many doors broken in two, 2 hard drives disks and over 300,000 portable vital documents have been accessed, a situation which also had the state officials on scene overwhelmed to the realities. As concerns the fate of the suspected bandits, they await trial while taking refuge behind bars under the supervision of the forces of law and order.
You're watching for 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. Today is celebrated as the World Day to combat desertification and drought, celebrated annually on the 17th of June to build a stronger bond between humans and nature by emphasizing on the need to preserve the land and water to avoid possible food crisis. Details in the following report.
Celebrated under the theme Restoration, Land Recovery, we build back better with healthy land. The focus of this day is to turn degraded land that has lost its natural productivity due to human activities into healthy land. This quest to restore land is also to create jobs, bring economic resilience, raise income and food security. The United Nations General Assembly decided on a resolution to observe June 17 annually as World Day to combat desertification and drought, encouraging households, the private sector, and countries to establish a strong and healthy relationship with nature. The high demand for food, raw materials, highway, and homes in most countries, especially in Africa, has altered about 3/4 of the Earth's ice-free land. In 2015, countries like Republic of Mozambique and the Republic of South Africa declared partial drought emergencies. Zimbabwe and Zambia also experienced diminished and late rainfall, combined with a long-term increase in temperatures. Swarms of desert locusts are destroying crops and vegetation in East Africa, resulting in loss of food and income for local families. Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya have been battling these migratory pests. Many countries around the world have experienced drier than normal conditions, eventually leading to water supply problems. While Bangladesh and Nepal also suffer from drought frequently, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka have reported droughts at least once in every 3-year period within the past 5 decades. To solve these devastating effects on the economy, family and the world, experts suggest proper land and water management, the recycling of water, the protection and use of springs or water bodies.
Away from that, the Cameroon movie industry is on a journey to the award. Movies are now consumed locally and internationally. Yesterday, Cameroonian movie titled A Man for the Weekend joined 2 other movies already streaming live on Netflix, the largest movie streaming platform. To this effect, the CEO of Blue Rain Entertainment, Cindy Emade, and some other crew members briefed pressmen and women here in Douala. Audrey Zatza was present and compiled the following.
With enthusiasm, main actress and producer of the movies entitled A Man for the Weekend and Broken walked into the conference hall accompanied by a host of prominent crew members to express her heartfelt gratitude for a work well done as concerns 2 of her movies streaming for the first time on Netflix, with A Man for the Weekend on 16th of June and Broken coming 22nd of June 2021. With Cameroonian film industry witnessing a shy growth in the movie market, Achille Brice, director of the movie, believes that Netflix acquisition of Cameroonian movies marks a great step forward.
It gives the upcoming filmmaker the notion that there is real potential out there if you give yourself the time to work hard.
To Cindy, the long-awaited dormant movie business in the country is finally waking up.
For the first time, Cameroon is about movies. It's about movies. I don't know, but I'm super excited.
But the filmmakers' main challenges in the country are difficulties in getting financing and where to market the movies.
The usual challenges that any filmmaker in Cameroon will face first, that is the challenge of not having comfortable finances to work with.
Nigerian actor Alex Ekubo, one of the leading characters in the said movie, was equally present, assuring his support in the promotion of African unity in the movie industry.
So I'm all up for joining forces with any African that is open-minded and wants to promote and tell our own African stories for Africans and by Africans.
Before leaving for the watch party, CEO of Blue Rain Entertainment revealed expecting more support from the government.
I expect more recognition and I expect more pats on the back from the Cameroonian government. I think we're doing so much to put Cameroon on the map. I think we've done that with and without the support of the government.
The 1 hour 34 minutes romantic movie, which was released in 2017, thus becomes the third Cameroonian movie on Netflix, as 2 other Cameroonian movies, Therapy and Fisherman's Diary, made their debut on the platform last month.
In sports, we'll talk about Cameroon Cup, the results of games played in the round of 16. Racing FC relaunched with 2-1 ahead of New Star. PW dominates with 1 goal against Ngomu. Astre of Douala beat UMS of Loom 2-1. Union of Douala beat Faubourg Baham 1-0. AS of Dibamba defeated Olympique de Biwambane 4-1. AFBC crushed Option Sport 5-4, while Cotton Sport defeated Tonnerre 1-0. We've come to the end of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for staying with us, or thanks for watching. See you tomorrow, God willing, at 6:30 for another edition of Prime News. Lasha Kingsley coordinated the news, produced by Ewane Nolinga. My name is Genda Peldrine Blanche King. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned to My Media Prime. Prime Hour is next with Kum Leonard and his crack team of analysts. Happy viewing. Good night.